This is the NYXI Hyperion3 controller for the Switch 2. At least I think it's called Hyperon. It might be Hyperion, however you say it. It's the third version of it. So this controller is basically the Joy-Cons for the Switch 2, but they are a lot more ergonomic. They have Hall effect, which means they are anti-stick drift. They have RGB, and yeah, let's talk about it. So right out of the gate, let's talk about the cost. Normally when I see it, it's on sale, but it's about $100. So it's not cheap, but you are definitely getting some good quality controllers from Nixie. It does come with a little adapter that you can connect both controllers side by side next to, and that makes it a dedicated Switch controller, but it is designed for the Switch 2 because it has the magnetic sides. Speaking of those sides, there is no mouse button or a mouse sensor inside, so you do lose mouse control, and there is no amiibo. So if that's something that you really want out of a second pair of Joy-Cons, this doesn't have it. This does have motion, which is great, so if you want to play this for like Wii Sports or something, you can. And it does have back buttons that you can program. So let's talk about this controller and how my experience has been with it. So out of the box, it comes with this little D-pad, and a lot of the internet did not like this D-pad. Thankfully, Nixie does come with a spare swappable D-pad that looks more traditional. You can just swap that out easy peasy, so that is not an issue. The RGB, it's pretty, and it just kind of circles around each Joy-Con. Speaking of the Joy-Con, as I said, they are Hall effect, which means they are a lot less likely to get stick drift, which is kind of the biggest gripe with Nintendo Joy-Cons, is that they were not given Hall effect. So since these use magnets, they are a lot less likely to get any stick drift of any kind because it's all magnet based instead of physical parts, so there's a lot less moving parts. So for the feel, these are plastic, but the best thing I like about them is their ergonomic design. So they are a lot more comfortable than my original Joy-Cons. Right now, my Joy-Cons are in a little case right now. But if I just pop that out, you see the Joy-Con very flat. For me, very uncomfortable, where the Nixie has a palm, a bulge for your palm, which makes it a lot more comfortable. And something that I noticed that I did not anticipate is when I was using the Joy-Cons, even with this grip made it where the Joy-Con would slightly pull away from my Switch when I was in handheld mode. And so especially when I was playing games, like competitively with Smash Bros, it would pull away ever so slightly, so then it would disconnect. So for a couple seconds, I would not have a controller. And you know, the little pop-up on Smash Bros appears and you can reconnect. So it reconnected right away, but because of that, it was slightly pulling on it and it would just disconnect those pins just enough, and that was causing issues. Where the Nixie controller, I had no issues. I have played many rounds of Smash Bros just in handheld mode, and this controller is very, very nice. The rumble, I wouldn't call it rumble. It has vibration. It is nowhere near even the Joy-Cons, so I think that's one of its downsides. It's the rumble and the vibration. It's there, but it's not amazing. And I wish what I wanted is to be able to turn it down to like a level 1. The lowest I could get it to was, it felt like it was at like 30%. 30, 60, 90 is what you can kind of set it as. At its lowest percent, it was just a little bit too much. And I wish it could just have just a little bit of rumble just for the haptic feedback. But I wish I was able to turn that down even lower. While I was gaming, there's only a couple times where I like really noticed that, especially in Smash Bros. When there's just a lot going on. And it's just vibrating all the time. That was one of my gripes with it, but it's not a deal breaker. The buttons on the top, very mouse clicky and very satisfying to click, especially with gaming on Smash Bros. And just generally playing, I liked it. It fits absolutely wonderful. It's just the magnets. It connects, and you can still dock it because it doesn't affect where the dock is. So you can just leave these on and it docks. One thing I noticed while in docked mode, most of the time the RGB is just still glowing as it's charging, and it doesn't auto turn off unless you turn off your Switch. So most of the time, even at night, I would just see them glowing on my entertainment system For me, it's not a deal breaker, but if this lives in your room, just know it might be glowing in the middle of the night, just because when it's charging, everything lights up and starts glowing. They do have USB-C ports on the bottom, so if you do want to just charge them with USB-C, you can do that. You don't have to plug them in to your Switch 2, which is kind of nice. Besides the price being just a little bit expensive and the rumble being not the best, I would recommend these to anyone. Instead of paying, I don't know how much spare Joy-Cons are, but if you don't need the mouse feature and you just wanted an extra set of Joy-Cons, I would not buy an extra set of Joy-Cons because they do not have Hall effect, no RGB, and they're very unergonomic. Where the NYXI Hyperion3, these are very ergonomic. Just keep them on your Switch, and it makes it a lot more comfortable. Some people, when they saw my videos, they said it makes it kind of look and feel like a Steam Deck. And I agree, it's very, very comfortable in the hand just to hold. So I really, really like this controller. The back buttons are clicky. I don't really use back buttons much, so haven't done much with that. But overall, as a controller for the Switch 2, it's really good. So if you were thinking about getting one, it's good, besides the price and the rumble. But what are your thoughts? Do you agree with this or not? Would you be interested in a NYXI Hyperion3 controller? Is that even how you say it? Hyperion3? Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next video.